The Last of the Mohicans is a 1992 American drama film directed by Michael Mann, who co-wrote the screenplay with Christopher Crowe. The film takes place during the French and Indian War in 1757. In the film, 3 trappers protect the daughter of a British colonel in the midst of war. Plot: in 1757, British Army Major Duncan Hayward, played by Stephen Waddington, arrives in Albany, New York, during the French and Indian War. He is assigned to Colonel Edmund Monroe, played by Maurice Roves, the commander of Fort William Henry in the Adirondack Mountains. Hayward is tasked with escorting Monroe's 2 daughters, Cora, played by Madeline Stowe, and Alice, played by Jodie May, to their father. Before they leave, Hayward asks Cora to marry him, but she asks for more time before giving her answer. A Mohawk named Magua, played by Wes Studi, is tasked with guiding Hayward, the 2 women, and a troop of British soldiers to the fort, but he is actually a Huron who leads them into an ambush that kills most of the soldiers. Mohican Chingachgook, played by Russell Means, his son Uncas, played by Eric Schweig, and his white adopted son, Hawkeye, played by Daniel Day-Lewis, arrive and kill all of the Hurons except Magua, who escapes. The trio agrees to take the women and Hayward to the fort. During the trek, they find another massacre at a farm, but do not stop to bury the victims so as not to alert the Hurons to their presence. Cora and Hawkeye are attracted to each other. They find the fort under siege by the French and their Huron allies, but manage to sneak in. Colonel Monroe is surprised to see his daughters, as he had sent a letter warning them to stay away, but it never reached them. A militiaman sets out at night to try to reach General Webb, played by Mac Andrews, at Fort Edward for reinforcements, with Hawkeye, Chingachgook and Uncas providing covering fire from the fort. After Monroe refuses to honor an agreement made by Webb that the militiamen could leave to protect their homesteads if they were threatened, Hawkeye helps them sneak away. Hayward becomes jealous of Hawkeye when Cora tells Hayward she will not accept his marriage proposal. Hawkeye is arrested for sedition and sentenced to hang. However, when he learns that Webb will send no soldiers, Monroe is forced to accept French General Louis-Joseph de Montcalm's, played by Patrice Chéreau, terms of surrender. The British can leave the fort honorably with their arms. Magua is furious because he bears a personal grudge against Monroe. Once Monroe, his soldiers and civilians leave the fort, Huron warriors attack and massacre them. Monroe is captured alive, but mortally wounded, and Magua personally promises him that he'll kill his daughters, then cuts out his heart. Hawkeye, Uncas, and Chingachgook fight their way out, taking Cora, Alice, Hayward, and a few British soldiers. They hide in a cave behind a waterfall. Before Hawkeye, Uncas, and Chingachgook escape by leaping from the waterfall, Hawkeye tells Cora to stay alive and swears that he will find her. Magua finds them behind a waterfall. Magua takes his 3 prisoners to a Huron settlement. While he is addressing a sachem, Hawkeye walks in unarmed as a parley to plead for their lives. The sachem rules that Hayward is to be returned to the British, Alice be given to Magua for the wrongs done to him by Monroe, and Cora be burned alive. Although Hawkeye is told he may leave in peace for his bravery, he offers to take Cora's place. Hayward, who is acting as interpreter, instead tells the Hurons to take his life for Cora's. After Hawkeye leaves the village with Cora, he shoots Hayward, who is being burned alive, as a final act of mercy. Chingachgook, Uncas, and Hawkeye then pursue Magua's party to rescue Alice. Uncas races ahead and kills several of the Hurons in combat, but is killed in a duel by Magua and thrown off the cliff's edge. Devastated to see Uncas' demise, Alice refuses to remain with Magua and commits suicide by jumping off the same cliff. Enraged, Hawkeye and Chingachgook catch up to the Hurons and slay many of them. Hawkeye then holds the rest at gunpoint, allowing Chingachgook to fight and kill Magua, avenging Uncas' death. Afterward, Chingachgook prays to the Great Spirit to receive Uncas, proclaiming himself the last of the Mohicans. About the film. The Last of the Mohicans was directed by Michael Mann, who co-wrote the screenplay with Christopher Crowe. The film based on the 1826 novel of the same name by James Fenimore Cooper and its 1936 film adaptation. The casting of The Last of the Mohicans includes Daniel Day-Lewis, Madeline Stowe, Russell Means, Wes Studi, Jodie May and Eric Schweig. The movie was primarily filmed in various locations, including North Carolina's Blue Ridge Mountains. The scenic landscapes and historical accuracy were integral to the film's visual impact. Michael Mann's meticulous approach to historical accuracy involved extensive research and attention to detail. The film's production design, costumes, and set locations contributed to its authentic portrayal of the 18th-century American frontier. The iconic score was composed by Trevor Jones and Randy Edelman. The emotionally charged and memorable music, especially the main theme, became synonymous with the film's dramatic moments. The Last of the Mohicans was released on September 25, 1992, in the United States. The film had an estimated budget of around $40 million. It grossed over $75 million worldwide, marking it as a commercial success. The film received critical acclaim for its stunning visuals, gripping narrative, and Daniel Day-Lewis's performance. The action sequences and the evocative score were also praised. The Last of the Mohicans has endured as a beloved historical epic, celebrated for its storytelling, cinematography, and the timeless love story at its core. 10 interesting facts about The Last of the Mohicans movie. 1. Wes Studi's portrayal of Magua was pivotal, breaking stereotypes by presenting a complex and multifaceted Native American character. 2. The movie is an adaptation of James Fenimore Cooper's classic novel of the same name, though significant liberties were taken for cinematic purposes. 3. Daniel Day-Lewis is well known for going to extremes in preparation for his roles. For this film he lived in the wilderness where his character might have lived, hunting and fishing and living off the land for several months prior to shooting. 4. By most accounts, each scene took at least 20 takes. Concerned about the growing cost, 20th Century Fox sent a representative to the set who did nothing but stand behind Michael Mann and say, "That's enough, Michael, move on." 5. The shoot employed more than 900 Native Americans from all over the United States, mostly from the Cherokee tribes. 6. The Fort William Henry set was constructed at a cost of $6 million. 7. In the original novel, many of the characters who die in this film, including Monroe, Hayward, and Alice, do not die in the novel. 8. Richard E. Grant and Hugh Grant were considered for the role of Major Duncan Hayward. 9. Hawkeye's real name in the novel is Natty Bumppo. The film changed to Nathaniel Poe to avoid laughter from the audience. 10. Cinematographer Dante Spinati used minimal lighting to give the movie a natural look.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more interesting videos and don't forget to press like button and share.